I'd like to welcome to the stream Graham Elwood. We talk about how terrible the news media is. Well, our comedians, especially these progressive comedians like Jimmy Dore, Graham Elwood, Ron Placone, they have become our news media, and they're growing in audience exponentially faster than CNN is losing their audience right now. So welcome, Graham. Thank you for again being here with us.
Susie, I really appreciate you having me on this, and just what this last year has meant for me personally. I've only been like really politically engaged for about 2.5 years or so, by doing, my show, Political Vigilante, and Jimmy's show, and this stream, starting to do that. Oh, I met Elizabeth Lee Voss, who then introduced me to you and this movement, and it has really been amazing. All the people I've met, I've met, who'd I met? Nozomi, when I went up there in May for the Julian event, and Ann Garrison. I spoke with Ray McGovern on this. I've spoken with Chris Hedges, and, I've learned all about this. You taught me about Serena Shim, and it's really been amazing to be a part of, and to, as was touched upon by Vivian, it does feel like the world is at the end of the Dr. Strangelove movie, but also just the wide, everybody of all these different political and ideological backgrounds coming together on this single issue is really powerful, and you see it, and the fact that people are taking to the streets in London and getting involved. I mean, I think while it seems very dire in certain ways, I'm cautiously optimistic because I see all of these people getting involved, and I see everybody waking up. And, it is crazy that, as Jimmy Dore calls us, jag-off nightclub comedians, that we're the ones that are like doing the real news. I mean, Ron Placone and I were just on Redacted tonight. We were in DC doing a show with Lee Camp, and he said he's been doing the show for 5 years, and there's like 4 comics he's had on the show because people don't want to be called Russian agents or whatever. So it really, it's been kind of, it's crazy times a little bit, but also very inspirational to meet you and others in this movement, and what you all have sacrificed and have been willing to put on the line. It is inspirational. And when you see what Julian has had to go through, what Chelsea Manning is going through, and then like their family, like Christine Assange, it's been a really powerful thing, and very motivating for me to I don't feel like I'm just one crazy guy making videos in his apartment. I'm actually part of a larger group, and this is an online community. Many of you I've never even met, you included, in person, but I feel as though I know you, and like am in awe and respect all the work that's been done by everybody involved in this. So I'm just humbled and honored that I've been asked to be a part of this last year.
Somebody just said in chat, I wouldn't have been anywhere near as informed or active on this issue without Unity for J. And then somebody else just said, me neither. I wouldn't have been either. And it's that kind of feedback that just blows my mind, because that was what it was all about. And there are hundreds of messages about you, Graham. There's so many people saying, I love your show, Graham. Oh my God, Graham's here. It's like quite amazing to sit and read the feedback.
Well, I mean, the ruling class is very skilled at their propaganda machine. And, I was just debating with somebody on Twitter. They're just like, well, we probably need, to go to invade Iran. And they're just repeating State Department talking points that are disseminated through the corporate media. And you see, and this person is not dumb or an idiot or evil, in my opinion, but that's all they know. And so it's important for vigils like this and independent media to get the word out, because they control the message, man, pretty powerfully. So, and that's what WikiLeaks was all about and is all about, is like showing them, pulling the curtain down. So I'm happy to be a part of this, and I'm glad people are getting informed through this and getting fired up.
Someone else in chat has said, don't leave out Steph. And that's a really good point. It's really easy for me to say, oh, Jimmy Dore, Romthacone, Graham, Elwood, but Steph kicks ass.
Yeah.
Steph, it's pretty clear to me, I don't know them in real life as such, but I've seen enough to know that Steph is the engine that's making a lot of that ship run.
Oh, dude. I mean, that's a big machine to run, and she is at the helm of it. And I've known Steph and Jimmy for years. She's a firecracker, man. She gets it done. Steph gets it done. So, yeah, big shout out to Steph's the miserable liberal. She does amazing work, and all the other people, that are involved and doing everything. It's huge to see it.
It's amazing. And I know that Julian got such a kick out of it. I mean, I know he was sitting inside the embassy watching Jimmy Dore episodes and laughing his ass off. And how great is that to think that that was a source of pleasure for him at a time when he was feeling, so much pressure and going through so much. How amazing that he got to sit there and laugh, at the absurd state of this planet. I think it's pretty special.
It is, and as a comedian, to hear that, if there's even one little joke that I made on Jimmy's show that Julian saw and made him laugh, that to me is huge, because that's like, I've gone and told jokes in war zones and rehab centers and all these different places where people really need it. And so a guy that's in exile, it basically has been and still is a political prisoner, that he can, that our jokes that are calling out the powerful and the ruling class are making him laugh. If that can make that guy laugh, who's sacrificed everything in ways I don't know that I could, was, I don't know. I'll just say it's pretty fucking rad. I'll just say that in my articulate manner.
Actually, I want to just interject a brilliant term, although it's military. It's a force multiplier. If anybody wants to look up on Wikipedia what a force multiplier means. But really, this vigil has been a force multiplier, like bar none. And as we're sitting here talking, I'm starting to already go, oh no, what will replace the vigils? Because every week, it's been an amazing, just intelligent conversation to listen to. And in many ways, although I don't share, oh my God, the political views of everybody that I don't give a shit. Everybody's intelligent, smart, they have a viewpoint. I don't agree with everything Jimmy Dore says, but I love him. I don't agree with everything Caitlin says. I love her, I respect her, and I think that it makes me a little kind of I'm having a loss here, that there isn't going to be, maybe that's something that, Graham, you can talk to your other friends, but, there really needs to be a place for everyone to go once a week and listen to discussions between intelligent, animated, even acrobatically intelligent human beings. Just talk, because a lot of the vigil was just a pleasure to hear people talk and to have somebody say something where you go, well, I'm not sure I agree with that, and then you start to listen to them and you go, well, yeah, actually. And there's really, what is there on major TV? There's nothing. Poxy, moronic, terrifying talk shows like The View or whatever, that's crazy. We need, we need a sort of a weekly, a new generation of Saturday Night Live, because Saturday Night Live, I don't know what's happened to that show, but we need something like Saturday Night Live, where it's a combination of real ability to communicate and be funny, right? Because that always helps digest indigestible things, right? That's why we love black comedies. That's why we like farce. That's why we like memes, is it somehow allows one to confront this stuff. And so I invite Graham. I am not a comedian or anything like that. Otherwise, I'd start myself. But of just getting a weekly get-together of people like yourself and Jimmy and whoever else is here that has something interesting to talk, and just talk. because I don't know about anyone else, but I'm going to miss the vigils for not being able to listen to people who are, God, dare I say, they're humane. You know, I'm sort of done with inhumanity. I can't handle it. Like, I almost like want to start kind of going la, 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 when I listen to a lot of things that people say, because I go, where is your humanity? You know, where is your kindness? Like, there's some of the things that so-called, you know, night, what are they called? Those chat night things. Oh God, what do you call them in America? Anyway, where you get somebody who thinks they're funny saying really horrible things about someone really important. I'm so fed up with that kind of raillery, that joke at everyone's expense that's just horrible and doesn't actually in any way address the reality. So to address the reality of Julian Assange and be funny about it, to address the reality of what we're up against on this planet and be funny about it so that people can have it. So it's not terrifying, but instead what it deserves to be, which is just looked at, understood, everybody gets their marching orders, and if everybody moves together, we are invincible. You know, short of a meteor hitting the planet, you know, these little bastards, there's not that many of them, and they also are not courageous people. Look at all the things they've tried to put in front of themselves, you know, so that nobody targets them. So anyway, sorry, I'm inevitably unable to shut up once I start talking, so I'm going to actually stop.
I think it'd be a great Saturday night, maybe Saturday night from exile chat show. Maybe The View from Exile.
Yeah.